Being that it's June and it's hot, even up in here in Jersey, I thought, let's talk about the cold for the people that don't like the hot. What is up, Fin fans? Yes, Miami Dolphin Mythbuster video. I think this is number 8. And I got this one from one of you guys. Again, I have a list of myths you guys want busted. Again, if you guys know of any myths that you want busted, comment them below, because I got a ton of videos planned for you in the next month because football has gone into hibernation. But we are going to talk about, are the Miami Dolphins really bad or play bad or tend to lose cold weather games? So we're going to talk about that. Then comment of the day, one of you guys asked me, what could we get for Xavier Howard, and what, how does that affect our cap? That'll be comment of the day. Before we jump into that, don't have a new Patreon. I don't have a new member, but I got this Mamma Jamma yesterday for Father's Day. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is. BackroomCollections. Hit them up on Facebook. Hit them up on Twitter. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 10% off. They not only do Miami Dolphins, they do NFL, NBA, MLB, all that great stuff. Yesterday was my first Father's Day, so they sent that to me. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to hang it up right there. I'm going to move some stuff around on the wall. But yes, check them out. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 10% off on some great artwork. So let's jump into this. Now, it took a lot, right? If you guys know how Miami Dolphin Mythbusters, the series that I started, works, you guys give me a myth. I either confirm it or I bust it, right? Last week we did Tua's, check down Tua. I busted it because if you looked at all the stats, not only does Tua throw more than half of his passes under 10 yards, so does all the other quarterbacks. So he's not really a check down guy. He's kind of in the realm of the same as everyone else. So that was busted. Now we're going to be talking about, does the Miami Dolphins play bad in cold weather games? So I did a lot of research on this one because, again, these videos are not about my opinion. They're about facts. I give you numbers based off facts, and then I either confirm or bust them. And there's a lot went into this. So this is what I did, right? In 2017, Palm Beach Post, right before the Bills game, I think it was December 3rd, give or take, they put out an article talking about, and this is in 2017, 40 or below. Now, I hit you guys up because I didn't want any discrepancies. I didn't want any of you guys saying, well, technically 50 or below is cold or cold weather games. So, only using 40 is not fair. So you can see I'll pop them up. I went out. I asked you guys, and you guys said 40 or below. So did the Palm Beach Post article. Now, they came out and they put in an article, like I said, in 2017 saying, in games played 40 or below, the Miami Dolphins record are 25, 31, and 1. So it's about average, right? They're almost, 500, off about 6 games. 7 if you include the tie. So does that answer if the Dolphins play bad in cold weather games? Kind of, but I wanted to know, and this is where we'll confirm or bust it. I wanted to know the last 20 years, right? So they just played the 2020 season, so I went back to 2000. I kid you not. I went through every single October to December, January game from 2000 to 2020, and I checked all of the temperatures of those games. The reason you're watching this now, and I'm literally recording this while the baby's taking a nap, is because last night I was up for a very long time going through all of the research it took to come up with this data. So, that being said, the coldest game they played in the past 20 years was in 2008 when they played the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys remember this game. It was 10 degrees in Kansas City that game. The Dolphins ended up winning that game. I'm not going to give you it. And also, if you guys remember with Ryan Tannehill in that cold game in December, which I'm probably in Pittsburgh, I'm probably going to try to make it the thumbnail. We also won that game. So, over the past 20 years, the Miami Dolphins have played in 31 cold weather games. There were a few years where they did not play in a cold weather game. In 2006, they didn't play in a cold weather game. In 2010, they did not play in a cold weather game. And in 2015, they did not play in a cold weather game. So those 3 years, they actually got pretty lucky and either played like in Minnesota when they're in a dome, Detroit, they're in a dome, or they played their cold weather games, whether it was New England, whether it was Chicago, whether it was Buffalo, whether it was Green Bay, in October when it wasn't cold, 55, 65, around there, where they played at home late in December. And the coldest it got there was around 55. I think that was like one of the coldest. And again, you guys said and agree, and I agree, that's not cold weather game. Playing 50-degree weather ain't cold weather game, especially when you start running. So you guys are like, Doug, stop beating around the bush. Is it busted or confirmed? Do the Dolphins in the last 20 years play horrible in cold weather games? Well, their record over the past 20 years is 10-21 in cold weather games. So they have won 10 games and they have lost 21 games in 40 or below degree weather. Now, does that say, well, that's because they're a Miami team and going from Miami to these cold weather games, it's a big change. Because you could say the same. If I was a Buffalo Bills fan, I had a Buffalo Bills channel, I would see, or Green Bay or Chicago or any of these cold weather teams, Denver, I would see, hey, is it the same playing in Miami or playing in hot weather games? So it's confirmed. Dolphins don't play well in cold weather games, but and I'm going to maybe I'll put an asterisk next to that confirmed. The last 20 years, the team has been very, because in 2000, they were 2-0 in cold weather games. There are some years where they did really well in cold weather games, either 2-0, they're 2-0 in 2000. Oh, there's a few 1-1 years. There's a few 0-2 teams. But is that because the team was bad, or is that because they were used to the hot weather? And that's another situation where I'd have to go down another rabbit hole and really give you more research. But going off of the stats, going off of if they won or lost, and some of these games they lost and they had a pretty decent team, it is confirmed. The Dolphins do not play very well in cold weather games when it comes to their record, because again, since in 2017 their overall record was 25-31-1, and for the past 20 years it's 10-21. So it's not that good. But again, going back and looking at it, some of these games the teams weren't that great. So I'll say that. But be sure to comment below. This was a short one because it's short and sweet, but the comment of the day is gonna, it's gonna give me a lot to talk about. But be sure to comment below if you have any myths you would like me to bust, any things out there. I think the next one that you guys want me to do is something. I think it was Dan Marino, them not getting him a running back or not, something like that. But again, you guys send me myths, I'm going to try to bust them. So be sure to comment below, and I'm going to get to comment of the day. Now, this comment comes from Garrett Wade, and he says, do you think X will get traded? If so, what do you think fair compensation would be? Also, if he is traded, do we have enough to give Agba and Gesicki competitive extensions? Now, I'm going to break this down backwards. The last thing you asked is, if he is traded, do we have enough to give Agba and Gesicki competitive extensions? We can give these guys competitive extensions. Jerome Baker's contract extension, and if we give anyone else a contract extension, it does not affect this year. So Jerome Baker's still making $2 million this year. Yes, you look at his contract, he's making $13 million over the next 3 years. I still don't know what the contract breakdown is. But, when you look at his full contract, it's 13. That doesn't take effect until next year because it's an extension. So if they do give Agba an extension, or if they do give Gesicki an extension, their cap hit does not change this year. It starts next year. So the Dolphins can still give Agba and Gesicki an extension without trading X, or with X still being on the team and his, $12-15 million cap hit, if that number is correct. Again, I'm going off the top of my dome. But let's say, and then I'll answer the rest of the question, let's say they do trade Xavier Howard. Now, I did a little scenario where I traded him to the Jacksonville Jaguars for their running back, Robinson, who He's a very good running back. And because his cap hit was like 600,000. So I would get a good idea of how much of a dead cap the Dolphins would take and how much of a savings they would take by trading X. Because sometimes when you trade a player, if you looked at Julio Jones, you still take a big cap hit even after a June 1st trade because of the way the contract was structured. But for the Dolphins, if they were to trade Xavier Howard, they'd only take a dead cap hit of $1.4 million, and they would have a savings of $12.1 million. So they would save a ton, and all of a sudden the Dolphins this year, if they did, again, get to the second part of the question, if they traded X, they would be sitting right now at around $20 million, $21 million in cap space right now with the $12.1 million savings. So they could do whatever the heck they wanted. They could go out there and get Melvin Ingram. They can go out there and maybe get Sherman. And again, now let's go to the other parts. Do I think he'll be traded, and what would the compensation be to trade Xavier Howard? If I'm the Dolphins, he just came off a 10 interception year. To me, he's a top 5 corner in the NFL. Some other people might disagree with me on that. I'm not taking anything less than a first. I'll take a first and a third, or a first and a player, or just a first. Give me a first. When the draft was coming around last year, I was like, hey, Dallas, hit up Dallas. They want a corner. We'll send you X for a first to give us your first. And then the Dolphins could take Patrick Surtain Jr. and bring him home. Obviously, that didn't happen, and they went with Micah Parsons. But, yeah, a first. Now, do I think he'll get traded? If they do get 2 twos, I'm going to... No. I'll probably be all right with it, but is it 2 twos next year, or is it a 2 next year and a year? So what I'm saying, just give me a first, and then we're fine and dandy. Or give me a player, like I said, the Jaguars running back, or, give me I don't know. I haven't thought about it, because do I think X will get traded? I don't know. That's not an answer, Doug. I don't know. This next month, we will know. With Agba, with Gesicki, with Melvin Ingram, with anybody the Dolphins have interest in or want to re-sign or have problems with, we will know this next month. Because right now we're sitting, it's June 21st. I'm going to say December 21st. It's June 21st, and the Dolphins in, 37 days? Show up for camp. So it's a lot of time for them to continue to talk to X. X wants more guaranteed money from what I'm hearing. There's a lot of things I'm hearing. He went on a podcast and talked about how them drafting Agba and them giving Byron so much money kind of seemed like a slap in the face, but he even brought up the fact that he has a knee injury. So them having this insurance for him was, why is it a slap in the face to play smart, to be smart as a GM, as a head coach? God forbid your knee did have a problem last year. Then we're screwed. So you would prefer us to be screwed than to feed your ego? I love X. I don't want X to go, but that kind of bothered me a little bit. But he wants more guaranteed money, supposedly. He doesn't like that after this year. He's got a few more years on his contract, but it's not guaranteed. I don't know. Spread out his contract if I'm the Dolphin. I said this, give him an incentive-based contract. All right, we'll give you more money. We'll give you more guaranteed money, but you need to show up. You need to stay healthy. You need to perform like you did this year. If you think you deserve more money because of the $10 million, prove it every year and you'll get that money. That's what I would do. But do I think he'll get traded? Right now it's 50-50. And I know that it's like sitting on the fence. Got the friggin' fence spokes up my butt right now. It's 50-50. They could make it work or they can trade him. We'll see what happens. It all depends on him. Depends on how butthurt he is by the Dolphins. Because he signed a contract. And I've said this before, that the owners don't own up to anything, but it's a year out of him signing this new contract, and he's still getting paid. He's going to lose a lot of money if he doesn't show up for camp. He already lost $93,000 not showing up for mini camp. We'll see how this pans out. If something does change, you guys know I'll make a video. If someone gets signed, re-signed, all that stuff, you're going to get a video from me. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to check out Patch Vibes. I had him on Friday or Saturday. Check out that video. Fantastic guy, Rich. We talked about Patch Vibes. We talked about the Dolphins. Use the promo code DW, get yourself 20% off. Miami Sports Music. We got a new guy. K Flexon is now part of the Miami Sports Music with me and TD. Go check it out. Hit the subscribe over there if you like what you see. Other than that, I will see you in the next video, which is probably going to be Wednesday. We're going to be talking about corners in the camp battle breakdown video. How is that? That's so convenient that Xavier Howard is in a little bit of a pickle, and I'm going to be talking about corners. Other than that, guys, I'll see you Wednesday, but like usual, stay classy. Fins up.